Coming to you from FPA at Shannon Forest, Studio 402. This is Crusader Network News.
Good morning, Crusaders. I'm Finn Brown. And I'm Alex Stevens. Welcome to Crusader Network News. It's Thursday, January 13, 2022. Here's your news from around the school. There will be no school next Monday, January 17th, in honor of Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. Spirit Week is coming up soon. The lower school students will have Spirit Wear Dress-Up Day on Friday, January 21st. Come dressed to show your school spirit. There are also basketball games that afternoon beginning at 4 p.m. and you're all invited to come out and support our Crusaders. Homecoming court will take place after the varsity men's game that night. That's going to be a fun day. Valentine's is not very far away, and once again, the junior class will be selling candy grams. The candy grams go on sale beginning Monday, January 31st. We will have our information on our next show about how you can place your order. You heard us mention Crusader basketball a few minutes ago, right? I remember. Well, we had a chance to catch up with our JV boys basketball team earlier this week as they played Spartanburg Christian Academy. They went into that game with an 8-4 record. Here are some highlights from that night. Be sure to come out and support our team. Go Crusaders! Last week we debuted a new segment on Crusader Network News called The Guess Express. That's right. We asked you to estimate how many Hershey Kisses were in the quart jar we showed you and then turn in your class guess. Here's Corinne Ramos to tell you which class came in the closest.
Last week, we told you about a new segment on Crusader Network News called The Guess Express. We showed you this quart jar filled with all kinds of Hershey Kisses, and we asked you to estimate how many you thought were in the jar. As a class, you made a guess and turned it in to Mrs. Sellers. We had a lot of great guesses, and now we want to announce the winner. Congratulations to Mrs. Spurgeon's first grade class. They guessed 101 kisses. There were actually 123, but they had the closest guess. Miss Hines' K5 class was right behind them with a guess of 100 kisses. They were so close. We'll deliver the Hershey Kisses to Miss Spurgeon's class soon. There will be a new container of items on the next show. Thank you for jumping on the Guest Express.
Thanks, Corinne. Way to go, first graders. Enjoy your Hershey Kisses. And Miss Hines' class, you were so close. I can't wait to see what will be in the container next week. That will be fun to see. And I wonder what the prize will be. More candy? Now it's time for our birthdays. Here's Mary Psalm with that report. We just have a few birthdays to announce this week, and 2 of them are on the same day. 3rd grader Madeline Harris and her 5 friends Wyatt Smith will celebrate their birthdays tomorrow, January 14th. And 4th grader Adrian Hare Long has a birthday Monday, January 17th. And 3rd grader Caleb Patel will celebrate his birthday Tuesday, January 18th. Happy birthday! Thanks, Mary. Be sure to see your teacher for one of these really cool birthday pencils from your friends at Crusader Network News. Do you love science? Miss Brown's 2nd graders have been studying about rocks. Let's take a look at what they have learned.
Our 2nd graders have just started a new unit of science, and Rhea is going to tell us what we're studying about.
Rocks.
Rocks. We are studying all about rocks. Okay, now let's go over here, and the 2 boys are going to tell us what is the main thing that we've been looking at in our rocks.
We're studying rocks, and we're going to do what we look or feel about rocks.
And when we look at the way something looks or feels, what's our word that begins with a P for that?
Properties.
Properties. When else did we talk about properties, Noah?
Solids, liquids, and gases.
Right. The whole 1st and 2nd quarter we talked about solids and liquids and gases, and those had properties. Now we're talking about rocks, and they have properties. And you have a whole tray full of river rocks. Rhea, I'm going to come back over to you. What is one of the other properties that we've talked about? Or a
Size.
Okay, what about it? How do we look at a rock and talk about size?
So, some rocks are big, and some rocks are small, and some rocks are medium.
Okay, so we can divide them according to the size. Aria, what's one of the other properties that we've talked about with rocks?
Color.
Okay, tell me about that.
We've been studying black and white rocks.
Are there any other colors that rocks are?
We've been having clear and orangey.
Okay, we also had another property we've looked at. Ashley, what is that other property?
Texture.
What is texture? If someone doesn't have any idea what texture is, what would you tell them?
It's something you feel.
The way it feels. So how does a rock feel?
Bumpy.
It could be bumpy. Sky, can you pick up one of the rocks that's bumpy on your tray? Ooh. Ashley, what's another way that you can describe it?
Hard.
Okay, almost all rocks are hard. William, you're sitting right there. Can you tell us what's another word?
Smooth.
Smooth. Can you show us one of the rocks that's smooth? 2nd grade, what's the color of the rock that's the most smooth in our set? Tell me.
Black.
The black rock is nice and smooth. Our 2nd graders are now going to take their tray of river rocks. They have about 20 rocks, and they are going to choose one of the properties that we just mentioned, either color or texture or size, and they are going to categorize their rock.
It's smooth and it's like a wheel.
We did the largest ones here and the smallest ones here.
So how did you categorize it then? What were you looking at?
The largest and the size.
The size, exactly.
We had a section of white, gray, orange, this color, and this black rock.
Go.
We divided our rocks that are bumpy and smooth.
So this group, what is that then? If you're doing bumpy and smooth, what are you looking at?
Texture.
The texture, exactly. How do they feel? Good job.
We divided our rocks by colors. One is black.
What else do we have, Ashley?
White.
Okay. And Sylvia, what are the other two groups that aren't black or white?
Kind of black with white mixed together and kind of brownish color.
So rocks can be more than one color?
We divided them by color, and some of them are like black and gray and orangish and white.
So, okay, second grade, I want you to do another thing with the properties. On your tray, going diagonal across the tray, I want you to start at one side with the very smallest rock and go to the other side with the largest rock. I want to see how good. I like the way that group's working together. Everybody's moving rocks. Okay, that group right here, you were the first ones done, but you know why? What's a word that we've been talking about in Bible even when groups work together? Nehemiah had the people working together because they showed what? Tell me. Cooperation. And we very often in our science activities have to show cooperation, working together. One other thing, who can tell our audience that's going to be watching this about the other three rocks that we've talked about? Everybody tell me, what is the dark rock that we were studying?
Basalt.
We had a rock that was kind of a white beige color. What was that called?
Tuff.
And there was one other one that was reddish. What was that called? Scoria. Who can tell me what was special about the scoria rock when we put it in water? Easton, tell me what happened.
Like bubbles.
It did. The scoria rock was so interesting because there was like little holes in it. So and actually when we dropped it in the water, it made bubbles. And what did all the rocks do when we dropped them in water? They sunk to the bottom.
I love rocks. It looks like they were having a lot of fun. I've got some rocks right here. This one's like blue's my favorite color. Oh, blue's also my favorite color. Those are pretty cool. Now it's time to celebrate some very special people around our school. Here's Colin Ozdike with our Magnificent 9 for this week.
We have some fabulous students at our school. God created all of us unique and special. Each week on Crusader Network News, we announce 9 students and teachers to celebrate and pray for. Here are our Magnificent 9 for this week. 5th grader, Corinne Ramos. 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. Sods. 2nd grader, Cohen Kale. 1st grader, Ellie Bott. 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Thompson. 1st grader, David Gaines. 4th grader, Hammond Pardo. 1st grader, Chloe Milby. And 3rd grader, Mary Song. Please post these names somewhere in your classroom to remind you who to pray for this week. We have a special bookmark to give you to remind you just how special you are to God and to us. Congratulations!
Thanks, Colin. Please pray for their students and teachers this week. That's our show for today. Remember to always try your best and do everything in a way that brings glory and honor to God. Thanks for watching. See you next week.